Healing is not always cute. It's not always a spa day. It's not always cucumber water with essential oils. It's open heart surgery with no anesthesia. Like, God, I just have what is the basic question? Yeah. So couldn't you know me first or at least I don't know, give me a sedative? Just out of curiosity, of course. But listen, if you're in the thick of it right now, exhausted, tired, wondering if you'll ever be okay again, don't worry, I've got you. What's up, my beautiful souls? Today we're talking about why God's healing feels like a full blown attack and why, in the end, it's all worth it. So let me tell you the raw truth. Healing is not pretty all the time, okay? It's not what you see on Instagram, the little matcha tea and all of that. It's not always the cute journaling. You will have moments, okay, where it's just a total disaster. I'm just gonna put that out there where it's painful and it feels like hell and you just have no will to live anymore. Okay? It's not all that you see on social media. It is raw, it is painful, and it is open heart surgery, like I said, with no anesthesia. Now, let me share my story of healing. When I was getting healed, right, going through my process of being healed, I was getting counseling. I was doing counseling. I was having counseling sessions, and I was a very troublesome patient. Very troublesome. I was giving my counselor hell. Like, no peace. No peace. Literally. Okay. Like, she even came to me one time and said, Naomi, I think I'm going to suggest you to another counselor because I can't. I'm not getting through to you. You're not hearing. And I was like, oh my God. I can't believe I even did this. I was like, where do you even think you're going? Where are you going? You're in this for the long haul, okay? There's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to run. Oh my God. I was just so ugh. I'm not even gonna laugh right now. I was terrible, okay? That's the point. I was terrible. Like my counselor was telling me to seek God, that He is the ultimate healer. But I was like, girl, I've tried that. Next.
Huh?
What? And honestly, the reason why I responded like that, because I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian for a long time. And I felt like I was seeking God and going to God. And I was just not getting what I expected. I wanted to be healed, but I was still hurting. I was still feeling pain. So in my mind, I was saying that it's not working. Like, you're telling me to seek God, but I'm talking to God and I'm still feeling this pain. I'm still feeling this burden. You understand? It's just, it doesn't feel like it's going away. You understand? And I did not share that to my counselor, of course. I just told her I won't do it. 'Cause yeah, I just told her that I won't do it. And that's that. Yeah. But eventually, after I thought that counseling wasn't working either, don't get me wrong, I was still going to my sessions and stuff, but I felt like it wasn't working because probably because I wasn't listening or doing anything that she tell me. But I eventually decided that I was going to isolate myself from people, every single body, from my best friend, from church. And that was during the time of COVID-19 too. So I was like at home all the time. And even though we had the lockdowns, I would just sneak down the road, you understand, go somewhere, just sit down by myself. So I would not tell my mother to never go to church. Go sit down at church when it's open. Of course, you can't be there. It's just a walking distance. So I just walk there, sat outside by myself. Nobody knew I was there. The gate was open. I'm outside. I just sitting by myself and not talking to anybody. And the thing about isolation, okay, I don't encourage you to isolate yourself. It's never a good idea. That's just an open door for the enemy to enter into your life and tell you all kind of thoughts, okay? When you isolate yourself, that's an opportunity for the enemy to take over your earbeats because that's the only voice that you're hearing because you keep yourself away from people, so you're not hearing encouragement or any form of advice or anything like that. So you're left with your thoughts and the thoughts that the enemy plants in your head. Okay? And trust me, the enemy did plant some ideas in my head. Okay? And I was considering to act upon those thoughts. My thoughts turned into a full-blown Netflix drama. Like, it just kept running. All kind of different thoughts coming together. And not good thoughts, guys. I was like, can I be the drama? Can I be the drama? Am I the drama? You know that look? I was like, the thoughts. Oh, maybe I should have revenge. Or maybe I should do this. You know, just to compensate for the pain that I was feeling. I all kind of thoughts came in my mind. So do not isolate. Isolation is a no, no, no. The devil thrives in isolation, okay? But yeah, I was thinking about acting on these thoughts. I did not act on these thoughts. My God. The reason why I did not act on these thoughts because even though I was in a broken state, I was a Christian, and I felt like backsliding, and I felt like giving up. I wanted to do all kind of sinful actions, revenge, could just go into the back into the world and do whatever I felt like because this no make no sense. That is what I was saying in my mind. It doesn't make any sense, right? But the reason why I did not act upon it and I decided to stay because I knew where I was coming from. I know where I was coming from before I became a Christian. I was broken then, really broken, and it wasn't a good feeling. God is what kept me. God is what kept me from losing my mind. And so I thought, Naomi, this even makes sense. All of this way I think about it doesn't even make any sense. It does not. So don't do it. That's what I told myself. Don't do it because it's not going to be any better when you're outside of God. It's going to be absolutely worse. And I know that for a fact because I've experienced Him. Okay? And so I decided not to backslide and to just figure out a way to deal with what I was dealing with, right? And so one day I was at church because I serve. Yes, it's COVID time. I serve at church and I got my little permission slip, to go serve at church. And one of my church sister was saying to me that she went to a conference or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. She learned something new. She said that she always read in Genesis that God would meet Adam in the cool of the day, right? And she always wondered, what does the cool of the day even signifies or mean? Because every word in the Bible it's used intentional. It's not by chance that it was used, and it's for us to read and understand what God is trying to say to us, right? So in that conference, she learns that the cool of the day was a set time that God will meet with Adam. So in other words, we should set a specific time where we say, oh, that time it is God time. That's the time we meet with God. That's the time we communicate with God and have conversation with God. And she said ever since she learned that, she has been doing that and how amazing it was. And I said, okay, let me try that. Okay. And I decided that I was going to meet God 1 a.m. every single morning. And I would meet God and I would worship, I would pray, and I would sometimes read the scriptures. And those first few weeks, it just felt like I was doing the work in vain. I was not experiencing the presence of God. I felt nothing. I just felt like I was just going there, wasting my time. That is how it felt. But because I was desperate, I had no choice, right? I tried everything else and I was really desperate. I was really in need of a fix. And so I decided to continue to pursue God nonetheless. And I remained consistent. And eventually, I started to experience the presence of God. I started to feel Him. I started to hear Him. Um, I would pray and I would worship, as I said, and I would vent to God. I would vent, I would tell God that, hey, I don't like this. I feel like this is unfair. Um, I'm hurting, and I would just express all my thoughts as if I'm talking to a real person. I would tell him about my experiences, what I like, what I don't like. I would tell him absolutely everything. I was very open with you. And even though I was doing all that and seeking the Lord every single morning for months, okay? Months. I was doing this for months. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 3 months, a couple of months. Okay? And I was still feeling pain. I was still broken. I was still angry. I was still bitter. I was still resentful. You understand? And I just felt like I was wasting my time again. I would cry before God. I would even cry myself to sleep. Okay? I would cry and ask God, heal me, God. You heal the brokenhearted. You restore the soul. I will quote scriptures. I would do everything. Cry myself to sleep. Every single thing. Like I was begging, God, please deliver me. You understand? Um, I woke up one morning depressed, just out of it, totally spaced out. And my entire family was around the back of the house, and I was just in the living room sitting down. I was like so broken. I felt like I had no will to live at that point. Like I was just said, at this point, better me take my life. You understand? Better me just stop living. Right? I was literally saying that. And I even slapped at my nephew for no reason. And he was only 3 years old at the time. I snapped at her for no reason. And I just sat down in the living room, total space. And immediately after I sat down, I felt, and I'm not saying this is how God approached, but this is my experience. I don't believe like God will come and you should hear a specific voice and say, oh, it is me, God. But this was just my experience. I literally felt a gush of wind, right? And I immediately felt the heaviness of the presence of God upon me. And he started to speak to me and he said, I love you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. You are my child. I am going to turn it all around soon. I've heard you. I've seen your pain. I've heard your cries. And I see you. Okay? And he said to me that I should trust him and trust the process. It's all going to turn around soon. And when I heard that, listen to me. Listen to me, guys. I heard his voice. I could not deny the fact that this was God. I felt it so strong. I heard his voice so strongly as if somebody was next to me and I was the only one in that room. And I started to cry. Okay? I started to just cry and I said, okay, God, I will trust the process. I will continue to seek you. You understand? And I will continue to pursue you and do what He wants you to do. Guys, it turns out that the whole time God was healing me. I wanted an instant healing, but God was taking His time. He was healing me the right way, the proper way. And not just that, the entire time I was going into his presence and I was crying, I was letting off some of the baggage that I was carrying. I was releasing myself. Every single moment that I spent with the Lord, venting or worship or crying, I was releasing the baggage and God was taking down the baggage. When God told me that I should trust the process, it was both beautiful and painful to hear because I was saying, why can't you heal me now, God? Like, you have the power, just heal me. I was like, yeah, just heal me, take the pain away. But here's the reason why he did not do that. Okay? Number one, he was using this opportunity to build relationship between me and him. So he knew that I had a need, right? And so he used that need to draw me closer to him. He was showing me that he could be a father and embrace me in my moments of pain, of despair, and all of that. He was also teaching me long suffering. He was teaching me the fruit of the Spirit and how to depend on Him and to trust Him when I'm going through seasons of pain or when I'm going through seasons of high tire. And He was teaching me how to trust Him and how to depend on Him and showing me that if I trust Him, He will turn things around for me in His timing. I was expecting a microwave healing, but the truth of the fact is, healing takes time. It's a process. You can't go through all that you need to go through or resolve all the issues you need to resolve in just a day. You have to process it. You have to learn from it. You have to grow from it. You have to bloom and blossom. So in order to heal, you actually have to face the pain and to deal with it. You have to feel it. You have to embrace it and go through the process willingly. Okay? Many of us don't want to hear this because the burden feels so heavy. It does. It feels like you cannot bear it. But that's the reason it wasn't meant for you to bear on your own. You have to pursue God, you have to seek God. Because He said, come to Him, all those who are weary and heavy laden. He will carry it for you. It's not meant for you to carry. He died on the cross many years ago so that He can carry those burdens for you. So go to Him. You cannot carry it by yourself. If you try, you will fail and you will lose your mind. So for the sake of your sanity, pursue God. Go to God about the pain and ask Him to heal you, and He will heal you. And trust the process. It doesn't look like you're healing, but you're actually healing. You just don't know it yet because you want the pain to just go away and vanish in an instant. But it goes away in increments, okay? So here are some things to note about the healing process. Healing is ugly before it's beautiful. God doesn't waste pain, He transforms it. And the healing process is long, but it is necessary. And you will only see that it is necessary when you go through the process. You won't realize how necessary it is when you're in the process, only after you have come out of the process and you have actually gained your healing. Okay? So, also to note, if you avoid the process, the longer the pain will last and the longer the pain will go away. Okay? And the longer the pain will take to go away. So do not run away from the process. Embrace it. Go through it. God is with you. He's holding you. He's there to cry with you, to laugh with you, to feel the pain with you, to experience every moment of it with you. So go through it, and you don't have to go through it alone. You have God on your side. He's always by your side. So just go to Him open. If you hear nothing else today, hear this. Your pain is not permanent. Your story is not over. God is working even when it feels like He's not. Trust the process. And for your assignment, of course, is to do exactly what I'm talking about today. Go to God. Trust the process. Embrace the process. You cannot go around the process. And the more you avoid it, remember, the more you avoid it, the longer it will take for you to heal. So just embrace it. God won't give you anything that you cannot manage or you cannot handle. He sees purpose in this moment, in this process. So go through with Him. Go, so go through the process with Him and know that you're not alone. Even when it feels like you're alone, He is always there, holding your hands, embracing you. Okay? So don't you forget that. So start now. Go to God. Talk to Him. Open up your heart and just embrace the process. Why is it so hard for us to believe what God says about us? Next week, we're tackling shame, guilt, and walking in grace. It's about to get good, so don't miss it, okay? And if this has blessed you, please share. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep all the blessings to yourself, okay? And if you haven't already, hit that like button and press subscribe. Okay, guys, one more thing I have to say. I know I did not post last week because I currently don't have a device to record. I lost my phone, so I don't have a phone currently. And until I get a phone, I probably miss a few dates. But I will still give you the content. Okay, I will still give you the content. Do not. I'm just asking you guys, be patient with me until I get a phone, until I resolve this issue. Love y'all. And remember, healing may be hard, but it's never wasted. See you next week.